All right, fantastic. Good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're connected from on this meeting tonight. This is Medas Falchimo. This is our weekly market updates, right? So just to take some steps or some other activities of the market. I love what the market did. We became more volatile, and this week is beginning to show kind of the truth of the matter is this. I'll start from Bitcoin so that you can prepare for yourself what this week may do. And let's go. Oh, interesting. Okay. Right. So the little fear I have for this week on Bitcoin is the fact that let's go. Hey, congratulations if you're on our forum. Uh, not only even on paid group, on general group. I posted this signal today in the morning, and that plays out. So almost hitting the fourth take profit, or the third. That is the first one, second, third. And so that's a massive dump immediately and all of that. So let's look at Bitcoin in the market generally for this week. All right. Now, the market, it's a little bit dicey, especially when it has to do with Ethereum. So now looking at Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin weekly. However, we're still bullish. Remember, I told us that we have a long way to go on Bitcoin, except and if we break and retest above 106, $107,000. Now, so we're still on a very strong resistance here. Now, the one of the critical thing about the market right now is that it has a chance of returning back to $93,000. Okay, so that's a chance of returning back to 96,000. That's $3,000. Now, if I go on daily time frame, we have this. So the markets actually have been moving sideways, told us a boring movement. We start having after the major move. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 days moving, sideways and all of that. Now, so the markets either we have a more aggressive move down to $198,000. That's $798,000. But there are a lot of pending liquidity, all right? Orders at 93,000. So what is the solution? For those of us who are doing future trading, day trading, and all of that, I would not advise you to long the market with your swing system because we need to break out of this point and for you to have a comfortable move up to 126,000. Remember, I say if we're able to break 105, $107,000 and retest, then that means before the top of the roof, which my own top of the roof are expected by September, we should be having the top of the roof. And remember, we said if the market can cross this $109,000, then we're going to have up to 177, 175, $176,000 of the market of Bitcoin. So, but nevertheless, Bitcoin is still moving sideways, and I saw a lot of pressure for it to come down back to $98,000 or chances of $93,000. So, except you are doing small buy, short buy, and then you can cope with it. That for Bitcoin. And exactly too, what I'm seeing on Ethereum. Okay. So Ethereum had a very nice move, right? And but if you look at it, Ethereum had a very nice move, but there's a danger on Ethereum right now because like a very sharp rejection on a weekly time frame for Ethereum at 50% February retracement level. And if this will not hold for the closing of okay, if this will not hold, that's going to be very, 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 very risky by the close of today. So that means Ethereum will crash back. But this is the point. Ethereum had not been able to make it move back up to expected level, except when we're able to get to $2,700 region. And so if we're not going to have a smooth move for Bitcoin, then you can find Ethereum return back to average of $1,900 before the next continuation. Now, so what am I trying to put across right now? So you have to be more bearish or expecting some pullback. And that's exactly what happened, that this was very volatile after a very nice move today. Yeah. So all my trade closed. All my trade closed on the signal I sent today on Binance. That's a BNB, Ethereum. So all of them. So this closed at the first take profit and unable to make it to the second take profit. And then the same thing happened on Chainlink. Could not get it up to second or third take profit. So we have on the first and second take profit, as it were. All right. And then we have the Solana. So get to first take profit and could get second take profit. So you can see why it's a little bit dangerous, because if you look at Solana, all right, if you look at Solana, hey, Solana, that a very, very fantastic major move. Solana had a very flush down. So that means we can have Solana return back to $150, $145 before it next about bands. So what we want to look at for this week is for if Bitcoin is going to do that correction massively, then you should have Solana return back to $150, $146, $145. And that's the place you want to be looking for Solana to be bought and all of that. So that's one of the things you can think about. So the same thing on XRP, all of them, right, are going to follow. All right. So look at Bitcoin. So this was the first target, and this was the second target. Fortunately, unable to get there, and there we find Bitcoin pulling back again and stuff like that. Okay. So, so someone will want to ask me now, I buy Bitcoin now, or can I enter any trade? So long you are not in any of the trade we sent on the morning, then the best thing is to wait for the today's candle close before you can find an entry for Bitcoin and even other related cryptos. All right. So, but remember what we said, we need to break above 106, $107,000 and we test on that. Then we can have first journey, maybe very sporadic, just like what happened before, back to, so we can rally up to $126,000 and then eventually until we top of the roof. So specifically, my target is average of $175,000 That's when it happens. Okay. Okay, so now let's go quickly to those of us who are trading Forex. And some may want to ask, like last week when I told us to buy some coins. Now, please, if you are new in our forum, on our platform, crypto, it's I can tell you that it's a lot easy to manage, but if you lack patience, to be very, very difficult. Now, sometimes when we ask people to buy some coins, and people buy some coins and didn't pay attention to what exactly do you want to buy this coin for? Are you holding it for a longer time, right? Or you are going to trade it for a shorter time? And even the trading, am I going to swing it and all of that? Okay. So there are so many coins we mentioned the other week, and that pumped, but I discovered that not everyone or not many persons actually took a step of taking profit out of it, right? Not many persons. Example was Toshi, and then it did very well, nicely well, but not many persons look at, okay, can I take some profit? Even though it's still strong and very strong, because after the first move, so you can see that Toshi actually moved very, very well, right? And then Michi, the same thing. Now, the two things is this. If I buy a coin, so what am I buying it for in the first place? Okay, am I buying this coin to hold and to what time, right? Then even while I'm holding the coin, there'll be time it to do very massively well. And I want to take part of the profit so that if you pull back, I will add more position. And so if you're new, those are the things you need to understand that when it has to do with this market, you buy and then market move very well, you sell to buy back. And I remember talking about adding to pie because, and you can see now, so imagine for anyone who, when we bought pie that last week or so, probably somebody who was able to buy from 50 something cent and you did nothing, right? And so afterward, let's say from this and up to this price, that's about 150% give and take, and you did nothing, then it's back down. Okay? It's back down. So you will not be waiting, oh, when will the market pump back again and all of that, because you did nothing. In fact, I traded this today and I took profit on take profit one and probably take profit two. I can't remember. And then, even though I look at if the market was going to continue, then it can do me 1,000%. But look at it. So I took first one and it went to second one, never happened. And I pull back, no problem. So, but if I'm buying to hold now, right, considering the market, but for Bitcoin, the Bitcoin is going to come back to 98,000, 93,000. Then you see the same token, the pile will come back to maybe 50 something cent again and all of that. So, but if Bitcoin is just going to retrace a little to cause minimum level of okay, so let's say $100,000 to 100,000, 101, then you probably will see the pie continue to move up and all of that. Okay, so we need to understand all of those parameters, and so that we walk along with them. Now, so quickly, let's look at the DXY. And also remember, so I told us the DXY last week, what it did was just a pullback for DXY. So it ought to continue moving up, right? And so what are we going to see this week? And of course, we should see continuation of DXY so that we can have uh, opposite pairs like Euro USD to continue crashing. Remember, of Euro USD, what we talked about, we need to either get rejected here, and that's exactly what happened after struggle. So you want to have this continue to rigmarole up and down. One of the things is that those of us who are trading Forex, the best solutions for you trading your currencies, it better you just look for a way of swinging them, and that will help a lot, as it were. And so, of course, you have a direct correlation, except for exceptional cases where the policies and update new thing would create a kind of little discrepancies in the movement of Euro USD and GBP USD. So you have to be careful because I think we had that last week when an entry was made and there was favorable news of GBP, and so GBP pumped back, and you can see that GBP is still holding above more than Euro USD right now. Okay, so now let's look at almighty gold, right? So you can see gold. Gold is still bearish or pushing down because of, I told us, except we're able to climb above this point before we change the narrative. And so what we're looking at for gold, the opening of today, this week, we actually took a trade last week, right? There was some new opportunity that came up, which was here. All right, so there was a bounce here because of an imbalance on 30-minute time frame for gold, and that created this band. So if we're able to pull back this week and get a bounce from here, then that means we can continue the up move. If not, then we can have a rejection here or here, and then we're going to be selling down. So, but the narrative is this. If there are other kind of fundamental news and all of that, then that will be more favorable for DXY, another aspect of the market, then gold may resume its journey moving downward. Except for that, we can have a pushback back to this point with about 3171, and then we have a continuation moving up. Because my ultimate target for gold was actually 3,600, which I've even tried. 3,000, almost 3,500 down. So my target is about 3,600 region. They're about here before we can have the massive pullback. But this is the point. The market, even when because you're working on probability and you want to pick higher probability, and so, but it's not a casting stone. Because that's why some of us, when we trade, we don't pay attention to what the market is doing presently, and of course, what is it about to do again. So sometimes you're looking at, oh, this market should be bullish. I'm waiting for it to be bullish, and that's all. No. If you do that, you'll be losing a lot of money. You'll be missing a lot of money that you take from the table. And those are the things that we have to work on. So gold, we're waiting tentatively, a pullback, the continuation. But as long as we stay below this range, then expect more massive push down of gold by next week back to 3,000 region to even 2,985, 2,989 region. And then if we're going to push up for that. So what do I need to watch? Let the candle open this week, which is today. And then you want to find a pushback and a bounce from here. Then you're going to be more bullish bias. And of course, crossing here will give a lot of momentum to move up for gold. But one thing about gold is that it's tradable in all weather. So you just change approach, but the same system you use in trading. And that's one of the amazing stuff. All right, so let's look at the local stocks. I was sharing with some of us last year and even during our market or trading update. Fidelity Bank, right? It's already $20, 21 naira. I remember the last time I was telling some people if you want to buy, that I should wait for it at 17 naira and all of that. And there you are. So the same thing happened on Wema Bank, right? There's so many stocks. So these are local stocks. And then there were other international stocks. Remember, some of us bought NEO, but there were a kind of trade war, stuff like that. There's a Chinese, but it's listed on New York Stock Exchange. And these had received a lot of bad, stuff. This is stock I've been trading since 2019. Of course, it has failed very well of its movement. But eventually, having some kind of issues over time. Okay. So some may want to ask. So we talked about GTC, that's JITCO, and there you are. So that means if care is not taken before the third quarter is over, so it's possible we can hit 19 naira for JITCO because the momentum never stopped. It has been continuations over and again. All right. So now one thing I said, there are new stuff. If you are on our forum, you saw what CNN posted some stuff of stock. coming. I remember telling some of us to buy MTN back when the tariff was about to be increased, and the stock was at about 192, 195, 199 naira. And right now it's $278 naira. Sorry, naira. Okay, so and is it Lasaco or something? Okay. So many Lafarge, okay. Yeah, so Lafarge, that's WAPCO. I'm sure the POM, wow, this is crazy. Wow. From less than 30 something naira, now 79 naira. That's amazing. That's amazing, guys. Okay, so one thing is that why do we spread our tentacles this way? You trade to make money, all right, and to raise fund, and you diversify in investing, buying coins, buying stocks, and you have what to fall back to. I've been always telling us that no matter how professional you are in trading, if you do not have a backup, the time you're going to have a rock pool in your trading equity, and then you may find it difficult to actually control your psychology. And so don't think that it's always going to be rosy, as it were. Trading can be very funny at a time. And so that's why we always tell people to create backup. Then another thing I will remember telling us is I said there's an airdrop on what's this platform called? Here on FMC Pay. If you're on our group, I don't know why how many. So it's not a must you are investing into the paying token staking, but this is go to our group. You're going to find the link. I'm sure we paste the link. And so if you go there, there is what do we call it? There is something like a drop you're going to be doing, but you have to, when you register with the link on the group, or you can ask your leader to give you the link. And once you give you the link, you register, verify your account, download the app, and then you can be participating on claiming of the airdrop of the FMC token. And because of you do not know how, so FMC token, why not? Since it's still very, very cheap. So, but of course, it's a sluggish moving token. So if you're going to buy and you were looking for hit and run now, I don't think you're going to enjoy it. So why not? If you have little fund when you buy, you activate your FMC exchange, FMCP exchange, verify your account, participate in the airdrop. That's regularly just be claiming. We don't know what's going to happen. And then you can look for little money and just buy the token and keep that. So my fear is that you probably may not have up to amount that can be minimum to lock, but there are lots of staking of the token you just keep there and all of that. So then if you want to participate in the paying staking platform, all right, to be generating some income, I call it salary, and that's what I refer to it as. And today, this is the same token that when we started in 2022, so this May made me 3 years on the platform. And that time it was about 8 cents, 9 cents, and all of that. So last year was even fluctuating between 43, 44, 45 to 51 cents. And now stated, so the journey to $1 is closed. That's what it means, right? Now, am I recommending go and buy paying token? Well, I didn't say though. But if you think you can buy, why not? Okay. So, but these are just diversifying opportunity. So we have to just make it available for people to know and then leveraging on them. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's so important you look at what you're doing and then maximize the opportunity that are available and all of that. So for Bitcoin, we should be crashed, like I've said, maybe to $98,000. All right, so to $98,000. And then if that will not So a lot of liquidity at about $93,000. I know, it's quite deceptive the way it has been moving. And I'm sure a lot of people who entered the market today or probably didn't even know when we asked people to buy, all right? They probably just jumping back again. And then there you are, crashes against them and all of that. So that is to say, if it's going to be crashing that, I've told us you should expect Ethereum to return back to $1,900 or $2,000 region, and then before it could get a bounce, as it were. For Solana, I've told us that we should be looking at the average price of $140 $5, or you can even go below if Bitcoin have aggressive move down, then you can pick Solana back at $132 thereabout. And that could be another buying opportunity for us when we have a green light of Bitcoin bouncing from that's $98,000 or $93,000. Okay. So all of these, you don't need to put yourself under pressure because most time the way we look at Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, when it's time for us to get in and to buy, is when we'll be calculating and be saying giving a lot of speculations. The market's not going to do this. Somebody say, oh, finally, market has crashed, it's going to die, and all of that. That's not true. So you just need to know exactly what you're looking for and then work with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, market is what it is. And then, so there's so many opportunity that we have. Remember, in our platform, three things: investing, and our investing has to do with buy and hold, staking, right? Then copy trading like on Bybit and other platforms, using the robotic and all like. So the staking, we have the paynet ecosystem. We have Radium, okay? So Radium, I have a lot of staking on Radium that okay, that I don't even touch. It's just there, the market will go up, come down, and all of that, but just generating a passive income. And so over the years now, I will have accumulated enough Radium token or some of us on Aerodrome, so Coinbase token base, like I think on Aerodrome, you can stake Toshi with, I think I've seen Toshi with other tokens and all of that. So those are the opportunity. Now, so coming to trading, so career trading, we do more of first Forex trading, future crypto trading, synthetic volatility trading. All right. So one of the things I always advise is that you have to identify your major point, major area, and then know where you minor. So if it's synthetic, you want to trade more as your major, why not? You want to push on and all of that. So, but one of the advantage, okay, so one of the biggest advantage of the forex trading aspect, and it's more simplified today, is all right, it's more simplified today, is the aspect of prop firm, okay? Um, so with a prop firm, you can trade, generate a lot of money, and then be able to buy coin to hold. I'm sure if any of those who bought some of those coins I mentioned last week, you should be in much money, like Pi, like Toshi itself, and all of that. Because if you look at it, Toshi, okay, I can be very, very sure that Toshi did more than over how many percent? Toshi did over, that was last week, somewhere here, three something. And so Toshi, so here to this point, okay, that's 130 something percent. And Michi did massive too. Michi, okay, here is Michi. Michi too did very massive. Now, once you are an investor in crypto, you don't do all those short kind of trade. You swing more. And so if you have done 100% plus last week, on them, and we're waiting for Bitcoin to correct back down and then to present us an opportunity to buy other coins back and all of that. So ordinarily, like I told us, what is going to stop Pi not to move up crazily now is the movement that Bitcoin is going to have. And as long as Bitcoin is going to have a correction back, probably you want to wait. But I know a good number of people who bought Pi that last week or so. They probably may not take any profit. It's about 100 and something percent. Okay. So it's very possible at a major move of the market, you can do 20, 40, 50, 100%. And then you sell back again. All right. And then when the market correct back, you are buying. Because if you are sold somewhere up here right now, even start DCA to it now, it's not going to be a very difficult thing till when you have the final bottom, and then you're going to be fine. All right. So we have a lot of opportunity. So the career trading is more simplified than before. All right. And so we have thank God right now we have copy trading on synthetic volatility, which is on on WellTrade. So there's a copy trading there. What's mean by copy trading? Copy trading is very simple. You just open your account, fund it, and they will put you through the process, connect your account. So trade is going on. But one of the things I always tell people is that when it has to do with copy trading and all of that, you have to relax, because sometimes some trade or some master trader account may only trade once in 2 months, or sometime once in a month. Sometime maybe when you just connect newly is the time there was a bad market. And then when you disconnect to go and look for another connection, if I use an example, or probably I'll be able to log in on my Bybit, you will see that some master trader platform that you connect your account with may not have traded for 3 months. Yes, you heard me right. Because it probably may be a swing trader who is waiting for a total crash or a total setup. For instance, if you look at in forex trading, you'll look at, okay, let me use this now. Let me look at an instrument like this. This is NAS. So somebody is going to be looking for a market like this, right? And all the little buy and selling that people are doing, this fellow is going to wait for here, all right? And so imagine since February, he traded down, and until he find another clear opportunity, he's not going to buy, and then you probably will not see money. And that's what differentiates when it has to do with, some kind of copy trading and from the master trader. And so you got to have patience, and then you're going to make money. Now on Forex, we've set up a copy trading, right, which is on capital extent. So, but other thing we do there is that you want to follow the free signals and all of that. What we ask you to do is that promo is still going on. You can register your account, fund with minimum of $200, and so that you can get connected on Signal. Very simple. Get connected on the Signal. So when we send Signal, so by tomorrow now, Monday, you'll see that we'll have started sending signals on exactly on gold for day trading. And then for currency, the best approach to currency trading is to swing. So you can imagine when somebody who have swing market from here, you just have less stress. You're only just follow instruction, and then imagine you have swing here. And for me, I have a swing position. I entered on Euro USD. I always love to swing Euro USD. So that means I'm looking at, maybe it may not be this month, the next 1 month or so, I expect the guy to return down to this bottom. All right. And so if he does that, that's 1,000 pips. Okay. So 1,000 pips. So I look for big pips. Now it can give me some drawdown to point, no problem. And that's how you see that big kind of company, institution actually trade. They take a chunks of it, and then they can hold the trade for the next 3 months. And when they're going to close it, it's going to be boom. And then with less stress. What you take is just swap fee. That's all. And then there are some broker have swap free kind of platform. So ladies and gentlemen, so when we share with you right now like this, it's not about, try to cajole you to anything. It's to really make you understand and realize that this space is marvelous, right? And then you can really enjoy a lot if you can be patient. So like I've said, for Bitcoin, so we should be crashing now. Okay, not crashing, sorry, that's the wrong language. We should be correcting down, like I said. We've been going sideways and all of that, so we should be correcting down. Remember, told us 97, 98K, but 93K is so obvious that we're supposed to correct down back there before we have the next shoot up for the market. So these are the reason why you need access to information, timely information, because if you do, as at the time you buy, you sell, and then know when to wait for it again to buy, right? So with that, that will help as much as possible. So you can see, so these sideways have been on, and then correction back to, all right, 98,000, like I said, $97,000, and then back to 93, like I've said, 93, which is down here. So it's imminent anyway, but it's not a guarantee. But as long as we stay below 106, 107, then our movement to 126,000, 156,000, 176,000 is still limited. But once we're able to cross our way, boom, then it's going to be fantastic. So understand that that's the same manner at which some of those coins will want to follow. So what do you want to do now? You want to relax and watch what the market will do when we close the market at 1 a.m. tonight, and then before we can decide if but don't get it twisted. We may finish this class and Bitcoin will just start crashing. So don't even get it twisted. So you are not on any short position. All you're waiting for is that after the crash, and then you get to appropriate place when it's going to be correcting, moving up back, should be able to find an entry and all of that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. And so make sure you pay attention on our forum. We send some signals, some updates, and all of that. Some coins. If you were participating enough, watching on the group, you will have be buying some coins probably when we mention, and then it give you 10, 20, 50%. You sell, and then looking for another opportunity again. And that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for coming tonight. And so those of you who are on forex signals, futures and synthetics, get ready. I'm sure volatility trading on the World Trade 90 days challenge will continue. And then those of us on forex, of course, still continue. It's not stressful. It's just for you to pay attention to instruction, and it's very simple. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. Do have a nice rest, and bye-bye.